The Week with Ben Ellis.
This is Switch.
Okay, so thanks for that, Ben. Right, okay. So this pandemic has stopped us this year from doing a lot of things. So things like going on holiday, going to live events, whether that be sport or live gigs, and it's taken a lot away from us. But it has also given us the time to get creative, do something different, and even given us a little bit of a push. If you've been thinking of doing something, it's given us that little bit of a push to get there. So with that in mind, today we're going to be talking to two people who, despite world issues, have joined forces and created entertaining, informative, and endearing look at the differences between us and them across the pond. Now, across the pond with Rich and Soph was born a transatlantic co-producing couple. They've got their own YouTube channel, podcasts, social media, and have even got the merch. Okay, so we're going to be talking to them today about their product and see what's going on. So, hi Richard, hi Soph, how are you guys?
Hi.
All right, we good.
Hey,
How are you?
we are connected. Okay, so with that said, this pandemic has been a real pain, a real party pooper across the year. We've had to cancel, we've had to change our plans, we've had to adapt to a lot of things, haven't we, guys? Now, you two have kind of taken an idea, ran with it, and this is your product. So can you just give me a little bit of background on how this started?
I've got to say, I'll give 10,000% props to Rich. It was totally his idea. So he's going to have to answer where it came from, I'm afraid.
Well, I think first it started off with TikTok. Like that was like the thing. It was like, I guess it just like blew up over the pandemic. And then you got a chance to like see everybody acting a fool for like what 60 seconds. Mm-hmm. And then once you got a following after a while, I think it's like after 1,000 followers that like your stuff, you can go live. And live is pretty much like what we're doing now. We're just, you know what I mean? You get a chance to talk to the people who are following you, and they get to, and everybody was doing something different. Some people be cooking, some people be exercising and yoga and all that. So I just kind of, my live was just pretty much like in my basement, in my like fortress of solitude. I would just play like old music and just talk.
Really good music. Let's get it out there.
Oh,
really
yeah,
and just talk like people were in the room. You know, I'm just like a personal person. And then I talked about something, and then it caught her attention.
I think what it is, we can, in the UK, you can do a joint live on TikTok, so you can have a dual screen with somebody else, but only in the UK. They haven't got that facility in America yet. So literally you just see the one person whose live it is with a live stream of chat in the chat box underneath. You can't actually see anybody else. But in the UK, you can do like dual live. So obviously we said, oh my God, it would be amazing if we could do a dual live, but
yeah. So then we got to talking about certain stuff that, I think we started talking about like food or whatever. And she sent me a package, and then I sent her a package back. So it was kind of like she sent me like some treats and crisps and all kinds of stuff. And then I sent her like all the baked goods.
Amazing cakes.
Candy.
Amazing cakes.
Wow.
So what I would do is when I would do a TikTok, like we both were doing TikToks, like she would say, hey, I got this from America. And I would go, every time I would go, it's across, I just got a package from across the pond. And I would do it every time. And then somebody was like, yo, that's a good catchphrase, like across the pond. Because actually I wasn't lying. So after that, we kind of like talked about it. And I was like, you know what? And then that's what she was like. I was like, man, I can't wait till, we get that and we can do a live. And she's like, well, if we do a live, I'm gonna be your first person you do a live with. And I was like,
we had a conversation and you said, haven't you ever had an idea, not done anything with it, and then months later somebody else has taken that idea and ran with it, and you're like, damn, why didn't I just do it? Yeah.
And yeah, we were, and she was talking about this ice cream parlor that she she wanted to do, and she just like let it go. And then like years later, right where she wanted her ice cream parlor, there was an ice cream parlor there.
Yeah.
And I was telling her, like, I always have like visions of certain things and I let it go, and then turn around, someone else comes up with it, and you're like kicking yourself like, yo, I could have jumped on that first. So we just came together and collabed and was like, you know what? Let's just do Across the Pond. I said, it'd be dope if we did like a show like from across the pond. And she was like, let's do it. And I was just like, for real? And she was like, yeah. And we just went full throttle from there.
So you kind of produced the idea, and Soph was the driver. She gave you the kick.
Yeah, she was just
let's
like,
do this.
let's do it. Why the momentum is there.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's do it. Because like,
just backtracking a little bit, because I forgot to introduce where you're from, because obviously, you know, neither of you are in Birmingham. And Sophie, I have to say, has got connections to Birmingham, because you used
to live there for 9 years, 9 beautiful years I lived there.
So you're an honorary Brummie.
It's my second home.
There you go. And you met some fantastic people while you're in Birmingham, didn't you? Okay, now Sophie, for the listeners who recognise her, she does the book review on the Saturday Shout Out show. So, Sophie, this is another one of your fingers in the pies, isn't it?
You've got to have fingers in pies.
There you go. But that's the connection between me and you. Now, Richard, where are you from, and what's your story?
Yeah, I'm from the United States. I'm in Pennsylvania is the state I'm from, and you know, ex-military. I work for the federal government, and it was just this was just like a pastime for me. TikTok was just like a pastime for me because I'm considered an essential worker. So like while everybody was like locked down, I'm still going to work every day. So it was kind of like, I was kind of a little jealous. Like, yo, everybody's at home doing these little TikToks and I'm still going to work every day. So I kind of like just put my hand in the water and was like, yo, this is kind of fun. And took it from there.
Okay, brilliant. So that was the child between, it was your kind of master plan. And Sophie took the reins and said, well, come on, let's do this. Okay. Yeah. Sophie's got the technical brain to get that on YouTube. It's on Spotify now and all of the streaming platforms, I hear, which is great.
The thing is because we literally had the conversation the day before. Have you ever had an idea, not done anything, and someone else had done it? So we both wanted to do it. So I was just like, let's just do it then. Why are we going to not do it if we've literally just had that conversation? Let's just do it.
Yeah, there you go. Why sit around talking about it? Let's just put that idea into effect.
Don't talk about it, be about it.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Okay, so you're on double digits now, aren't you, after today?
Yeah, we're just about to record episode 10 after.
That's brilliant. And what's the response been like so far?
To be fair, what? Let you go first, and then I'll tell you my thoughts on it.
I said, you know what, to be honest, I was like really surprised that a lot of people like took interest to it. I mean, because to be honest, like we're learning, and like when we first did our first episode, we told everybody that like this is a work in progress. So, you know, if you're rolling with us, you know, it's kind of like we all learning together. So it's kind of like
on the first episode, we said that we're not going to edit anything. You see it as it is. Richie's internet connection cut 10 minutes before the end of the show, so he left me winging it by myself, and then we had to do it in 2 parts. You were like, okay, well, we're back. You know, this is what happened. But to be honest, I mean, I'm not going to say nobody would want to watch us because obviously we're fabulous, but I'm surprised at how quickly it has escalated, to be fair. You know, like each episode has got over 100 views. You know, like after the first week, YouTube were emailing me saying you've been watched for 692 minutes so far. You know, people are commenting under the shows, asking questions, getting interactive. You know, like I think they said it takes generally 2 years to get 1,000 subscribers, and on average, and we've got like 36 after 3 weeks. You know, and I know that might not sound a lot to some, but that's obviously beating the average, right? I just, like you said, we've got an Instagram page and we now got a podcast streaming on like 6 different platforms. It just seems to be going really quickly, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think I just thought I'd wake up one morning and be like, oh yeah, you've had 10 views, or, you've got 1 subscriber. Because if you would have seen Richard the day after the first show went live, and I texted him and I was like, oh my God, we got 3 subscribers. He called me and literally went berserk. Oh my God, 3 subscribers,
Yeah.
Exactly.
I got excited.
You did, but to be fair, I know there's a worldwide pandemic going on, but it's also very interesting times, particularly between America and Britain at the moment, isn't it? I mean, I've been really interested in the episodes where you've talked about how the pandemic has affected everyone in America as well as everyone in Britain, and swapped stories there. Then there was the American election. Oh my God, that was the best soap opera I have seen for so long. And let's just say the best man won. Well, that would have been.
What's his name, Rich?
But also things like some serious things as well. They are serious, obviously, but you do talk about light-hearted stuff like TV shows and the difference in music, the difference in slang, the difference in food, which is where it all started, which are lovely. And then really hard-hitting subjects like Black Lives Matter, gun crime, autism in children and how it affects parents and everything. So you know what? It can be very relevant to some, and the different subjects that you touch on are very relevant at the moment. So what do you do? How do you plan it? How do you kind of say what we're going to talk about this week? What do you do?
We actually have a Wednesday meeting, a Wednesday business meeting, we like to call it, in the evening, because we do a show on a Friday, which is what happened in the week just gone.
Right.
And then we have a subject, and then on a Sunday we'll say what happened during the weekend, plus we'll have a subject. And I think it was the second week we decided to do a fun subject on the Friday and a serious subject on the Sunday, because we didn't want people to think we was like a one-trick pony or just going on there to have a laugh and mess around, because we do actually take it seriously. I know you wouldn't think so sometimes to listen to the show, but we really do. So yeah, on a Wednesday we have a little business meeting, and like we've obviously got lists of stuff that we want to talk about or we think that people will be interested in, and then we just decide, okay, this is what we're going to talk about on the Friday, this is what we're going to talk about on the Sunday.
Brilliant.
And the cool thing about it is, with this project of ours, the cool thing about it is like it's a team effort. So it's like when we do have this meeting, even though we're joking and laughing, like it ends up being a serious meeting. Like we really be like, bouncing ideas off of each other. And the great thing about it is that it's a team effort. So like before that meeting is over, we both are comfortable with the topic that we're going to discuss. We're comfortable. It's like it's not just one person's idea. It's kind of like it's collective, and we sit and then by the end of the meeting, it's kind of like we're set in stone. It's like, it's not one person's idea. It's both of ours collectively.
What do you do about the time difference as well then? Because obviously you can't have meetings ad hoc, like on the hop, because you could be in bed or Soph could be in bed, and it could be the middle of the night.
That's the same thing. It's like we come together, and that's even collective. Like say you want to answer, or you want me to?
Richard's 5 hours behind us, but he works like in the evening till 10 o'clock at night. So we generally have a meeting before he goes to work, because then obviously that is 1 o'clock in the afternoon for him, 6 o'clock for us. So that's fine, And don't get me wrong, there have been times, because obviously I have a son, and there have been times where I've had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to record a show. This is the thing, because it was like the blind leading the blind in the beginning, I'm not going to lie. And when we look back at our first show, we're like, oh my God, the quality is terrible. But we, like Richard said, we've come a long way since then. We've got mics, lights, all the get up now. But yeah, we've streamlined it so that on a Friday we do a show 8 o'clock in the morning for Rich, which is then before I have to pick up my son from school. And then on a Sunday, we do it at 8 o'clock in the evening for me when my son goes to bed. But obviously it's a Sunday, so it's only
3 o'clock here,
in
yeah.
the afternoon for him, so it's fine. And then the Wednesday meeting is before I pick Alfie up from school, before Richard goes to work. So we've juggled it so that our clocks are in sync. But yeah, there was at least twice where I had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to record a show because we hadn't worked it out, you know. So
yeah, and here, I mean, I ain't give it 3 in the morning, but you know, I got up at like 7 in the morning, and I'm just like, I don't even get up this early.
I would have rather got up at 7 than 3.
True that.
We were talking about like
she'll get up at 3 o'clock in the morning for a boxing match. So take note.
I know. Yeah. How about that?
Richard talking about teamwork. Like the funny thing is, when they say teamwork makes the dream work, it's so true. Like it's funny because if one of us has, like I said to him, okay, I want to make a 60-minute video to put on our social platforms so that, you know, to showcase it. Straight away he was like, right, let me find the music for that. So I done the video, he found the music, and he didn't even see the video, but the music was perfect, like, and they went together like a dream.
Brilliant. You know, you guys, you do your episodes, you've got all your other stuff going on. What do you think that your viewers get out of your program? What do you think that they take away from it?
You know what? I think it's I think relatability is the big word. I think people can relate to just wholehearted fun. You know what I mean? And then the topics that we bring up, you know, being that it's a pandemic, you know what I mean? And being that like people want to know, some people are just curious. They want to know what people are doing on the other side of the world. You know what I mean?
But I think it's good to hear it firsthand. Like even my dad has said, you know, it's when we done the one about crime, guns and the police, he was like, do you know what? It was really good to actually hear what it's like from somebody that not only lives in America, but like is in it. Do you know what I mean? So I think personally, sometimes they can be educational. Yes, they might be funny, you know, and we joke about, but even the jokey ones, like when we did the different wording, what do you call a dummy? What do you call a pacifier, nappy, diaper? Even they're quite educational, I think, you know.
Yeah, Band-Aid, plaster, I could ride.
They are very informative, and it is good to hear from another perspective over the pond, Richard. But it's kind of like it is informative, but it's entertaining as well. And I think that's really good where you get that from. It's good to see, you know, especially with the TVs as well, the TV programs, the films, all that kind of stuff. So listening to what you both watch.
Yeah.
Some things are the same, some things are completely different. So, Rich, I've got a question for you because I watched, I think it was episode 1 or 2 or 2 or 3, and you were talking about TV shows and the differences. Right. So I'm a little bit older than Soph. Only a little bit. Only a bit. Okay. So if I give you a line that says, "Now the world don't move to the beat of Wanderer."
Yeah. Different strokes.
Don't move to the beat of just Wanderer. Yeah.
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, man. I was screaming at the screen, "Where's the dance? Woo, woo, woo." Because Soph didn't know it. And I'm like, she's too young to know that. But I absolutely loved Different Strokes. And I was like, I did not love it. Oh my God. So
different strokes for different folks. That's what they
say.
say.
Yeah, but as I say, Sophie, just that little bit too young, I think, to watch it. But we loved it. It's like,
yeah. And then you know what? And the thing about it, like, we get comments like, we talked about like movies, and we got like a guy who follows us on a regular, and he was like, well, what about this movie, and what about that show, and what about this show? So it feels good to like comment and be like, you know what, that was a great show, we'll probably put it in next time, you know what I mean? And you're responding back to him, and it like, I feel kind of good that I can like have somebody like, oh man, take them back. You know what I mean? Like I've even had friends who watch it and be like, man, you got me commentating like on you guys' show. Like, you know, they're like joining in with our conversation, you know, at home. So it's kind of like,
it is, and that's the way people can get involved. And that's probably part of the endearing thing about your episodes, is that you can relate and you can scream at the screen. You're like, no, not that one. Yes, that one. Yes, that one. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So Sophie, I wanted to ask you, what do you think your listeners think of your and Richard's personality and how you work together? What's your thoughts?
Well, everybody that has had anything to say about it so far has said, "Oh my God, you've got such great chemistry." We have had the comment before that we talk over each other sometimes too much. But I think it's just like if me and you were having a conversation, you know, like it's a bit like, I mean, Rich isn't going to know about this, but I like compare it a bit like, you know, Philip and Holly on This Morning. Like they always have a laugh, even if they talk about serious subjects. They're just like two mates having a laugh, you know. And we're exactly the same. Like there's never been any awkward silences between us. We've never fallen out. I mean, we joke. I mean, I say a couple of times, "Oh, I'm going to find someone else to do the show with," which I would never do.
This is a threat. Richard, behave yourself.
But I like to think that, you know, like it's not forced. There's nothing forced. And yeah, people have just generally said that we have great chemistry. So I hope that does come off, you know.
It definitely does. I find when I watch the episodes that, I mean, I know you pretty well. So I've got used, you know, I know your personality. You're very driven. You're very on the ball. You want it now, that kind of person. And now introducing Richard, he's Mr. Whoa, laid back, very chill, but he's very thoughtful as well. And he's very logical, and he's got that little bit of more experience of the world, I suppose, being in the military and stuff, that he's a bit more informed about stuff, which is great. So yeah, you're right. You do have really good chemistry together. And hopefully that comes across with your listeners as well, or your watchers. So you've got watchers and listeners.
I know.
Right?
Commenters. Covering all bases.
There you are indeed. So you've got anything else? What is next for this show? How is this show going to go? Because at the moment, you're building momentum, you're getting your episodes in, you're up to episode 10 now, which is fantastic. You've got a little following, you're going to keep building on that momentum. What do you think? Where do you see the show going? Where's the end game? What's the aim?
Rich, he knows where we're going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Burr.
Spill the beans, Rich.
We want to go prime time.
Hey!
We're not stopping until we've got a talk show. When I name drop Philip and Holly, then we're not stopping until we are on that sofa together.
See, we have a show here in the States called it's called Jesus and Marrow, which is like it's almost like a show like ours, but it's like live.
Okay.
And I kind of like how they do it. Ours is way different, but just like she said, the show that she talks about how like we have the chemistry and stuff like that. I would love to take this and just be like, you know what I mean? So us, you know, States versus UK, or just because it's all opinionated, so it's just fun. So I'm hoping that, you know, people pick up on it and be like, yo, I can see y'all on TV.
Rich, get down to the network ASAP.
I'm down. I'm down.
Get down to BBC now. Yeah. So is it like a chat show you're looking for? Is that your aim? You want your own chat show? You're going to have guests on. You're going to talk opinions, talk differences.
That would be great.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be dope, as Richard would say. Yeah.
That'd be dope. That's a good one, yeah. Okay. So, Richard, Sophie from across the pond, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been
thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for inviting us. Yes.
Brilliant. So, we're gonna leave you to do episode 10. Congratulations, guys. It's hurtling away those views, etc. So, good luck with everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going back over to Ben in the studio.
For more great videos from the week, make sure you subscribe to our channel. It's down here somewhere. And don't forget, you can catch us on the radio every Sunday between 12 and 2 on FM across Birmingham, 107.5, on mobile, on DAB and online. We're made for Birmingham. This is Switch Radio.